Hello everybody, this is Bobby Mills from theindependent.com with another version of A View from the Top. Today we're with Brian Kort. He is the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator and a whole lot more for the Grand Island Public Schools. Brian, thank you for being here, taking time out of your, now I find out, very busy day. Hey, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, can you tell me where you've been before you, I think you've been in the school system, GI public school system before this, and after you get done telling me that, how about telling me about what all this gig entails?
All right.
A lot more than I thought.
Yeah. I've been in the district. This is my 21st year. So I started back at Barr Middle School as a math and algebra teacher back in the day, and then I got an opportunity to move into administration. I was the assistant principal with Dr. Connie Allen back then, when I got my start, and worked with Mr. Gilbertson, who's now the principal at GIPS. And then for 7.5 years, I was the principal there. So I spent 13.5 years as an administrator at Barr. And so still kind of my home away from home. So I spent a lot of time there and 3 years teaching, so that's a lot of years of my career. And then I had the opportunity mid-year, 4 years ago, to move into this recruitment and retention coordinator position through the human resource department.
Okay.
So I worked through HR. Mr. Wayne Stout gave me that opportunity, and it was a new position. Kind of had the opportunity to grow it and grow with it. And there's different parts that have come about over that time with some of the duties, I guess, that I performed for the district and with the buildings. But one of my main things, especially this time of year, is all about recruiting and hiring teachers for next year.
And that doesn't mean you stay at the administration building 5 days a week. Can you tell everyone where you're going to colleges? Where all do you travel to during the week?
So I hit college fairs. I do some college presentations. Anytime I can get in front of education students on a college campus, I try to go there. Colleges are very good about allowing me to get in front of their students and kind of sell our brand to people so they know Grand Island's a great opportunity for them when they want to start their careers, or even after, if they want to come later on in their career and join us. I've hit pretty much every college in state. Chadron State's a little one that I haven't been to yet, but I believe I've been everywhere but Chadron and Peru State in state. And then out of state, I've been to Poirier State. I go to Fort Hays State every year a couple times. I've also been to Briarcliff and to Northwest Missouri State. So try to get a little broader net, so to say, when it comes to getting out there. And those are all schools that produce quite a few. Fort Hays State is the largest in Kansas for education students.
Oh my goodness.
They have over 1,200 students that are in education in their freshman through senior class. So that's a big school to hit. That's double what UNK produces.
That was my next question. Yeah, you're a smart man. Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And that's great to see. I can tell you that right now. You know that. Yeah. But we're going to touch on this out-of-state thing in just a moment. But both of my kids had quality education in the Grand Island Public Schools. Yeah, and it's back in the 90s. But things have not only progressed, but they've gotten a lot better here with the addition of a whole bunch of new and exciting things in this school system. I'll have to look at my laptop to touch on them, and we want to talk about the academies. That's one of the biggest things to me. And then, as you said, the off-campus sites like CPI, Wyandotte, and CHI. Can you give us some information on those exciting things?
Absolutely. We just completed about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the bond issue, that original $69 million bond issue that brought us 3 brand new elementary schools, Stolly, Star, and Jefferson, which are beautiful facilities. We also now have our Early Learning Center, which was a separate piece, the O'Connor Learning Center, that's just behind us here a few blocks.
I didn't know.
Which is just beautiful. And we've had updates at Grand Island Senior High, Barr Middle School, Engelman, Shoemaker. So we've touched a lot of buildings with the last bond issue, and then obviously the Early Learning Center was a big one that just is up and running this year full time. If you have an opportunity, I would tell you to go take a peek at it. It's a great facility for the students and staff there. So we've done a lot of things on that side as far as what's available for our students. And then The Academies has brought even another dimension to that. With that, we have a lot of partnerships within our community. Our community partners are tremendous. Our kids are getting college credit. They're getting internships. There's a lot of great things going on through all of our different academies that we have. And we have 6 at the high school, the Freshman Explorer Academy, and then you get into the other 5. There's the Technical Sciences, the Education, Law, and Public Safety, Medical, and I'm not adding the other 2, but there's 5 other ones for our high school sophomores through seniors. Some of those are on-site, some of those are off-site, like you were talking about.
Wow.
Career Pathways Institute is that technical sciences one where those kids do they build the house, the construction. The seniors do, the juniors do the Habitat for Humanity house, they help with that. So there's a lot of different things going on. Automotive, we have aviation, drafting. It covers the gamut. IT, they just finished Skills USA. You've probably seen some things on that. It was totally amazing what our kids are doing in that area. So CPI is one that we've had around. It's about 10 years old now, which seems crazy. It might be a little older than that, but that's a real, a partnership with a lot of our community people, a lot of our community businesses.
So is that the one down by the plot?
Yep.
And that really, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be the first one in the state of Nebraska of its kind or likeness.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Because it seemed to be a blueprint for mechanics or whatever they do down there. And what a great thing, because not everybody can go to a regular college. It's not for everybody. When did this place in the old Shopko building open up?
This past year.
Okay.
We've just moved into
is that early learning?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the O'Connor Early Learning Center. So we do have some classes at Lincoln Elementary, Howard Elementary, and Star, but our majority of our classes are here at the O'Connor Learning Center. It's a beautiful facility. It's that old, the old Shopko part of it.
Yeah. Plenty of room, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And you've got, because I've had a couple of drum students that have gone to Ombudsman. And things like that. What does that entail?
So we have alternative programs. We have our Success Academy, which is right by the football field there at Grand Island Senior High. And then we have the Ombudsman Program, which is an off-site program where kids can get it leads them towards graduation. It just gives them a different way of getting their credit so they can get to graduation day. And it's a great opportunity for those kids. They might be on a shortened schedule and different things like that. It's just more of a fit for what they need to be successful to get to the finish line, which is graduation.
That's right, and there's no excuse for not graduating from
Yeah.
Grand Island Senior.
Yeah.
You've got every opportunity in the world,
Yep.
and both of these kids knew that. And they went out and worked in the afternoon, I think, which was part of the deal.
Yep.
So it's really good. So like at senior high, and we know what the big facility is there,
Yes.
and that's unbelievable. How about in the building? I mean, I haven't. The only time I go in there's to a basketball game or to interview somebody.
Yeah.
Have there been a lot of changes there in the past 5 years?
Yeah, they did some updating up there through the bond issue. So there was some just remodeling done in some areas, and they added some new classrooms and took out some walls so they could make some of the classrooms larger to accommodate the academy. So, for instance, one of them we have an emergency room car is in there where the kids can get in the back and do that from the medical field. And so there's different things like that. There's beds for the medical, like you'd see at the hospital, that our kids get to utilize and work with. So they get a lot of that real hands-on that, normally back in the day, before we had the academies, you read it in the book, you saw it on videos, things like that. Now they get to put their hands on things and work with some of the stuff they would see when they want to go in the nursing program and different programs like that.
I can't even visualize that back in my day. I don't know about you. Back in Blue Hill and
amazing.
GICC, we couldn't visualize that. I mean, how time flies and how things get updated. But so if you were to woo these prospective teachers coming in, what would you tell them would be the advantages to coming here? Because it's a great place. Everything that I'm hearing and all the updated things and some of the things you've told me about I didn't even think existed.
Yeah. Well, beyond facilities, I think the biggest thing if for anybody that's wanting to, start their career or come to Grand Island, we really sell them on, they're going to get tremendous support from mentoring programs to support from their instructional coaches, their teams that they work with, our coordinators that we have. There's tremendous opportunities with our professional development team. So anybody that comes to Grand Island is going to get the utmost when it comes to support and getting better at their craft. Another thing is, our district is always doing what's best for kids. When somebody always asks me, what's one of the highlights in working Grand Island? I think our superintendent, our school board, our administrators, our leaders, they always do what's best for kids. And the Academies is one example of that. They're always looking at things. We're never satisfied with where we're at. We're always looking to make things better. So we're a district that's progressive, but progressive for our kids. And for what they're going to go out to when they leave, the buildings and the hallways that they're in and when they graduate. And that to me is what our district's really all about. And I think that's something that, one, we sell to people, and it's true, it's real. It's not just, oh, it sounds good on paper and a slogan. It's what we do. I
know there's teams that come and visit my son, who's a teacher at Howard, and they're always trying to observe and improve, and they may not say anything. Everything might be okay that day, but they might offer, and it's happening all the time. So I think, it's a good deal to, and I suppose they're from the administration building,
Yep.
And I don't know what you call them, they're teams or some side of team, but it's a great thing. I have never heard him complain about it, so it's not like somebody's looking over your shoulder. It's all working together to make a better product. That's for the kids. Yeah. That's the end result.
Yeah, and to be part of it, to see what's going on in our classroom.
Yeah.
I think that's really important for central office, for building leaders. They're in classrooms more than back in our day. You never saw a principal unless you were in trouble. And now they're in the classroom, and kids interact with them, and they interact with our superintendent and some of our other district level people. Pretty commonplace in Grand Island Public Schools.
Very good.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to touch on before I really put you on the spot, but the last thing. You told me that there were 2 colleges that you had to visit because of recruiting for CPI that some of the in-state schools just don't offer.
Yeah, for the career and technical positions, automotive, construction management, Wayne State and Fort Hays State are the 2 closest ones that produce teachers in those technical fields. And so Dan Phillips and myself, we get down there to Fort Hays State usually a couple times a year, and up to Wayne State once or twice a year as well. I usually get there twice. Dan usually goes at least once, just so we get to meet those, get in front of those students, make sure they know there's positions, if there's positions going to be available on Grand Island, we can get on them early. And that helped us a couple years ago. Our automotive teacher, we got him from Wayne State early. So it does work. You got to get out. You got to get early. Today's day and age, it's the early bird gets the worm. It's bigger now than ever before. So we want to get out in front of them and know that Grand Island has this great program, and our facilities, like at the Career Pathways Institute, are second to none. As you know, they're phenomenal. And what our kids get to do and what our teachers get to work with is, on a day-to-day basis is really impressive.
And why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you want to come to a place like that?
Be a part of that, absolutely.
So if you had one last thing to say to a prospective teacher, what would you tell them? What would seal the deal about the Grand Island Public School System? Brian Kort is always here to help you.
I think it's 2 things. One, schools are still about people, about the students and about the staff. And I think that's one thing that every teacher has in common. They connect with their students and they connect with their colleagues. And that's something I think we do a great job within our buildings, within their teams, within their grade level teams. Building and school climate is really a big thing in every district, but definitely in ours. And I think you feel that when you walk into buildings. I do. I walk into all of our buildings, and I can feel that when I walk in, being welcomed and things like that. And then again, it comes back to sport. If you want to grow in a district, there's not many districts that give you the opportunities that you get here in Grand Island Public Schools. The opportunity to be a great classroom teacher, the support, the training you're going to get, it's there. If you want to grow into an administrative role, a curriculum role, a coordinator role, you have those different opportunities to do that. I think that's one of the things that's special for us, and it separates us from other districts.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to come here. And one last question, I fooled you.
Okay.
Did the pandemic really affect, did it create a shortage of teachers? I think that's a fallacy from what I've heard.
Yeah, the teacher shortage really has been started probably 10 to 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because of less kids going into the profession and the rule of 85, the early retirement, so you lose them on both ends. But it's kind of hit us here now in Nebraska. We do have great candidates, I will tell you that, and we still have great things in place for our students. Our teachers that have come on board and our new teachers for next year have been very impressive, I will say that. And I know they're gonna rock it when they get in their classrooms next fall. So we're excited about those people coming in, and again, just make sure we can support them and help them make that transition into our district, which is always critical for every district.
It is.
Yep.
Hey, you gotta come and teach in the Grand Island Public School System. If that's not a sales pitch, I don't know what is. So, hey, Brian, thanks for talking with us today. I'm very proud to be a part of just this, this city, and know that we have a kind of a school system like the Grand Island Public School System. So, good luck on recruiting.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
don't know
your
how much
time.
you'll need it, but hey, he'll steer you right.
Come
Brian
find me.
Kort,
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you for Brian. From McKenna Behind the Camera, this is Bobby Mills with another version of A View from the Top. We'll catch you next time.